Okay, and I'm back. I'm back with another video. This video is going to be a little bit, maybe hopefully shorter or longer, depends what it is. But right now we're going to start talking about debt. That's what I'm going to talk about on this video. I also going to talk another video about taxes and inflation. So those three different videos coming up. So today, the first video is going to come up. It's going to be about the United States history of debt, and we're going to start in 1929. So basically, I want to give you a quick introduction. So basically, the term national debt refers to the outstanding financial obligation of a country. The national debt of the United States is what the federal government owes to its creditors. The U.S. has always carried national debt, of course, and the majority of presidents have added to it. Yes, they have. However, the total has been expanding rapidly since 2008 due to a combination of increased government spending and failure to raise taxes. No, that's something that we need to discuss and talk about. That's why we're here to discuss that, and we're going to put it, like I said, this is the first video. There's going to be two more coming up. It's going to basically address what we're talking right now about taxes. So let's go back. So right now we're going to start in 1929, the Great Market Crash. That's when the Great Market Crash happens. Before that, there was the Roaring Twenties. That was good timing for a lot of people. A lot of people made a lot of money. There was easy credit. Due to that easy credit, there was a lot of debt. So that debt actually crashed the market. Supposedly, that's what happened. And at that time there was about $17 billion in the national debt in the United States. $17 billion. That was the United States debt at that time. 1931 came around and the Great Dust Bowl drought started. So the market crashed. Then we hit a great drought in 1931, meaning that it was a bad situation because the Great Depression just basically is starting. So around that same time, there was a huge drought, and it actually affected the southern state plains, meaning Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Colorado, affecting livestock and agriculture. Great Depression started around that time, and it got even worse when the Great Dust Bowl drought started, which actually ended in 1938. It lasted 8 years. 8 years. During in between that time, we had a new president. His president was Franklin D. Roosevelt, elected in 1933. This was the man that served 3 terms. The only president in the United States that actually served 3 terms was Franklin D. Roosevelt. I guess he didn't do so bad. People loved him, I guess, huh? Yeah, we should, he did a few things like Social Security. That was him. He ended the war on World War II. He was there. He actually ended it, and he brought the United States away from the Great Depression. He started moving it during that time. He actually funded 3 New Deals, which ended basically the Great Depression with his administration. So good for him. He took us out, but by doing all that, it cost us about $242 billion. So by the end of World War II, the United States was owing about $242 billion in debt in 16 years. That's how much. 17 billion in 1929, 242 billion increase in 1945 by the end of World War II and by his death. That's crazy numbers. But remember, Great Depression, the drought, and also World War II had an effect of that. But still, inflation was still not as bad as it is right now because we still had that gold standard going on. Okay, so let's move forward. So by 1945, the U.S. national debt was about $251 billion. That's how much it was. 1949, at the end of World War II, the national debt was already at $259 billion. Like I said, $243 billion was the debt that Franklin D. Roosevelt actually added to the national debt. But of course, he had all those issues that we just talked about. And of course, we're going to continue. 1947. Guess what happened in 1947? Cold War started. The Cold War started in 1947. And it ended basically 1991. There was a lot of years in between that. So during that time, 1950, okay, 1950, the Korean War started. So 1953, that's when the Korea War ended. It lasted about 2 to 3 years, I think it lasted, the Korean War. So remember, the Cold War started 1950. Right away, we went to another war. That was the Korean War. 1953, it ended, the Korean War. We did not win. Total U.S. debt at that time now, after the Korean War ended, was $266 billion. It wasn't 259, now it's 266. It's just increasing a little bit. I mean, it's affecting inflation already, okay? Because we're not paying down on it. So 1961, guess what happened in 1961? John F. Kennedy elected president. Lasted until 1963 because he was murdered, okay? He was shot dead. And there we go. By drawing the Kennedy, guess what? The Bay of Pigs invasion was led by JF Kennedy, and he was also there for the Cuban Missile Crisis, and also in the start of the Vietnam War, basically. Okay, so 1963, Vietnam War started. It just basically started around that time. It started before that, but it started increasing. So, excuse me. So in 1965 is when the U.S. entered the Vietnam War fully. Total U.S. debt, $317 billion in 1965. That's the national debt now. You see how it's increasing? It's increasing. $317 billion. That's about it. 1969. Nixon took office. Mr. Nixon took office. So remember, 1965 all the way to 1969, there was that was the Vietnam War. Blah blah blah. All these things were happening during the war. And not to mention, we went to the moon. That's 1968, 69, something like that, around that time too. So Nixon took office, and now we are at basically with Nixon. 1916, Nixon ends the gold standard. 1973, Nixon ends the gold standard. That means now we could print money as much as we want. That's how it was, okay? And they did that. Because in 1975, the Vietnam War ended. It ended. Nixon actually ended the Vietnam War. Total debt by that time, $533 billion. Have you noticed how it's going up and up like in big chunks? Yeah. $533 billion was the U.S. debt in 1975, the day that I was born. $533 billion. That's a $317 billion increase from the last number that we talked about. That's crazy. Not to mention, during the Vietnam War, guess what happened? About 58,000 U.S. soldiers died. Not to mention all the ones who were injured. And all the ones that died in Vietnam, like the citizens over there, that was a lot. I don't know how much it was a lot. And guess what? We didn't win, okay? But we spent a lot of money. All you soldiers died around that time. That's what we've been doing for the last, since 1945, actually. Damn. Anyway, I gotta continue. 1981, Ronald Reagan was elected president. So by 1981, the national debt was about $998 billion. So when Reagan took office, $998 billion in U.S. debt. We are almost reaching that $1 trillion mark on the United States. 1981, $998 billion. That's the national debt at that time. Ronald Reagan started the trickle-down economic, giving huge tax cuts to corporations and all that, and basically spending more on the military. And the one drug started basically a lot, like I expended more, and basically the United States just started spending more money. So 1987, there was a market crash. By that time, the debt was at $2,350 billion increase. So from 1981 to 1987, there was another market crash, and the debt was already at $2 trillion, $350 billion. That's a lot of money right there, man. Whew, that's a lot of dinero, right? But that's nothing yet. We still gotta go on. 1989, George Bush was elected, basically. George Bush was elected in 1988. 1989, he took office. He lasted 4 years as president, as U.S. 41st president. During the George Bush era, there was the first Iraq War. And by that time, by 1990, $233 trillion billion was put on debt. So it increased another $1 trillion, basically from 1987. In 1990, we have $3,233 billion in 1990. Then in 1992 came Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was elected in 1992, took office basically in 1993. By that time, the United States debt was at $4 trillion and 65 billion. That was national debt in 1992. So during the era of 1992, Bill Clinton actually did a lot of things like he ended that welfare cap where people had to work. He ended the inflation. Actually, he didn't increase the debt that much compared to other people because by the time he ended it, it basically didn't add a lot to it. It was like $1 trillion basically. But he did there are stuff that was questionable, like social programs were basically reduced a lot, and I guess the taxes was basically better for the richer. So during that time, there was like not a lot of stuff going on, but by the time Bill Clinton ended his administration, we're looking about from 4 trillion, it only went up $5,674 billion. So it actually added like 1,609,000,000,000 added to the debt. That's what Bill Clinton added to the debt. $1,609,000,000,000, totaling 5,674,000,000,000. He took office 4,065,000,000,000. That's what in 1992. That's when he took over. That's how much the debt was at $4 trillion. By the time he ended his administration, it was a $5 trillion plus. Okay, let's keep it simple like that. Big numbers. 2000. So 2001. Guess what happened? In 2000, George Bush Jr. was elected. Mr. Little Jr. was elected as president. He took office in 2001, basically, and in 2008, Obama took office. So basically, in 2001, 9/11 happened. Just in case 9/11 did happen, that's when basically the war on terrorism it was beginning. It didn't start until 2002 when the war on terrorism actually started fully. Okay. But by George Bush took office, like I said, it was about $5 trillion national debt. In 2008, so we're not going to go into the depth what they got, but we're going to go into the end. The point is, in 2001, 9/11 started. The 9/11 attack, that's when it happened. The whole world changed. Around that time, I was actually there in New York City happening, seeing it live. It was bad. It was a lot of questionable stuff going on there. A lot of questionable stuff. It's still being questioned right now. Point is, we went to war in 2002. We went out and we started the war on terrorism, which lasted almost 20 years, basically. So from 2008, like you said, Obama took office. Between George Bush and Obama, they gave out 2 bailouts to the banks. Was it nice? No, they shouldn't have done that, but that's what happened. That cost us a lot of money. Basically, in 2008, so George Bush came out with a $250 billion bailout, and then Obama gave another $243 billion in bailout for corporations and banks, and they loved it. They were bringing it in, the money, buddy, that me and you're not paying for. But they brought a lot of money, okay? The corporation. They never lose. We lose, okay? That's how it is. I was part of the banks at that time, man. I would have made mucho dinero, you know? Oh, wow. But guess what? From 2001 to 2018, by the end of George Bush administration and the Obama administration, the U.S. debt was at $19 trillion. Damn. So between 2 presidents in 16 years, they went from 5 trillion all the way to 19 trillion. That is some crazy ass numbers. Damn, that's a lot of numbers. Holy shit. Mucho dinero, okay? Guess what? 2016, somebody else came to office. Mr. Donald J. Trump came into office. The local, the funny hair and all the crazy makeup guy came into office. He was elected as president. I actually voted for his ass. But I wasn't expecting him to win. And I'm thinking, damn, I think he's going to win. When I saw he win, I'm like, holy shit, he won. That crook won. But we had bad choices with Hillary Clinton too, so it wasn't going to make any difference. Or did it? It wouldn't make no difference. So, 2016, guess what? Trump got elected. By that time, the debt was at $19 trillion. Donald Trump lasted 4 years. 4 years in office. During that time, he gave that huge tax cut to corporations so they could pay less of the money you pay every day to those corporations. They get to keep more of the money, okay? It's about $3 trillion, I think, or $2 trillion that they got to keep more in less than that time that he gave that tax cut. And Trump told him, I just made you a lot of money. That's exactly what Donald Trump told the people that he did. And they did make a lot of money. The point is, 2016, 2020, guess what? COVID hit, of course. COVID hit. We had that war on oil in 20, I think it was 2019 when Saudi Arabia and Iraq were fighting that oil war where they were producing a lot of oil, bringing the prices down, and then COVID hit. COVID hit exactly when they were doing it, and they kept continuing doing it. Man, I was gonna make a lot of money on that oil thing, but I took my money out before the stocks shook back up. Damn it, that was a good opportunity right there. Anyway, it is what it is. We cannot do anything about that right now. The point is, COVID hit. Government shut down. Nobody was driving. Oil dropped. All the way down there. The oil dropped. Gas was still high at $2. I think the cheapest I got in here in Florida was like $1.90, something like that. And I'm like, why is the gas so expensive when nobody's driving? It was still expensive. In my opinion, that shit was still expensive. It was manipulated. That market was manipulated like crazy. COVID hit, all these crazy stuff was happening around that time. And basically, oil dropped like it went to bleh. And I bought stocks. And I should have held it. Oh, man. But it's okay. No worry. It's okay. Whatever. Who cares? The point is, a lot of people made a lot of money around that time. Yes, they did. Because, of course, the market is always being manipulated. That's how the market is. Government does not control oil. Remember, government leases land, and then corporations go out and dig their oil. That pipeline that they were trying to build, that was for the oil company. We wouldn't pay for it. They wouldn't profit from it. We wouldn't profit from it because that crude oil cannot be refined in the United States. It's shipped over, and we buy the sweet crude oil from Libya or from Saudi Arabia. Those are all guys over there, the Saudis. That's why Trump was very shaky with the Saudis. Trump was like, let's make some deal, baby. And they got $2 billion from the Saudis. I wonder why. Something happened there. But they all make money somehow. They got to be richer for some reason. That was under the Donald Trump administration. By the end of the Donald Trump administration, he started at $19 trillion. By the end of Donald Trump administration, you know how much it was? He put into debt? $7 trillion. Donald Trump by himself put $7 trillion in national debt. By the time he ended, it was about $26 trillion. He started at 19, and when he left, it was at $26 trillion. Just because of those tax cuts and all the craziness going around there. He wants to go back in office and now do the same thing again. You know what I'm saying? This boy's going to make some big boat if he wins. And he's going to go again and say, I just made you even more money while taking it from you and me. Biden doing the same shit. Trust me, Biden's going to do the same thing. Because right now, we are at the last point right now. And right now, the big thing is in 2024, our national debt right now is about $33 trillion. Around there right now. I think it's about 34 now. By the time Joey Boy leaves, it'll be, who knows, about $36 trillion. And Joey Boy's going to break Donald Trump's record in 4 years. This boy's what, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 30. Holy shit, he already broke it. It's at 33 trillion. He came in at $26 trillion. Damn. Mr. Old Man Biden is about to broke that record of Trump already. Between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, they are killing us, man. And the craziest stuff is, guess what? They are both running for president again. You are so screwed. We are so screwed. Anyway, that's going to be the end of my video for today. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. This shit is crazy. we having those same two old men. Well, we've been getting screwed since 1981. So between all these presidents and now, we have been getting screwed because we keep electing those same people. The national debt reflects what you're paying in the grocery stores right now, okay? Because the government prints money. They borrow money. The money you pay every day, every week, does not go to the pocket of the government because they don't use cash. They use budgets. And most of the money you pay every day, guess what? It gets to be kept by the same corporations that are becoming monopolized at this time. We are getting screwed big time. But right now, I'm done. This is the end of the video. Thank you. And I'll be having another video hopefully by next week. And it's going to be about inflation, I think, or taxes. I think inflation should come first, and then we talk about taxes. I'm going to prepare for that. I'm sorry, these videos are not great quality, just in case. I'm just trying to put some information out there. Everything I told you guys could be verified, all the history, it could be verified. So you guys could check it out if you guys want to, okay? Right now, I'm just trying to give you the information so you could just open your mind and start asking questions. Hopefully, we could take out democracy back, because right now we do not have a democracy. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. But right now, see you guys later. See you guys next time. Hopefully, I get you make another video again. And do me a favor, subscribe, support, like. Hopefully, I'll get some other people to watch it, and let's see what happens. Hopefully, I'll get you some better quality videos soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.